Hi, I'm Betty McKnit, and I'm going to help you get your 6-day star blanket started. So for my star blanket, I'm using a 5-weight acrylic yarn. This is some leftover discontinued Karen Ogo Colorama, which is a 5-weight acrylic. You can use any yarn you like. And I'm using a Furls Odyssey 9mm hook. You will need a hook that's a little bit bigger than what you might normally use for your yarn. Start with a hook that is 0.5 millimeter larger than the suggested hook on the yarn label, and have 2 hooks available, each 0.5 millimeter larger, so you can increase your hook size if you experience any curling whatsoever in this setup rounds. Let's see. Oh yes, you'll also need a stitch marker. Okay, so always leave 4 to 6 inches of tail when you start something. I see some of you online in your videos leaving these little pieces of yarn, and I have tiny heart attacks. Okay, so slip knot and chain 4. And I don't recommend starting with a magic ring. I don't think that's a good technique for blankets. I always start with a chain 4 and a slip stitch, and then I'm going to take this nice long piece when I'm done, and I'm going to weave it in by going around underneath the double crochets of the first round. And if you want to close the hole at that time, you can close the hole. I like a little opening in the middle of my blankets, but if you don't like it, you can close it when you weave in your end. Okay, so set up round 1, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to take my stitch marker and I'm going to mark that last chain. Okay, that's the right behind your hook. That is your last chain. This loop on the hook is not a stitch yet. And then we're going to make 13 double crochet into that center ring. And if you want to, you can work over that tail on the first round. You don't have to. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So counting the chain 3 as 1, you should have 14 double crochet, and then we're going to join with a slip stitch to this first top of this chain that we marked. Slip stitch and pull it through. Another thing I'll do when I weave in is I'll close that little gap right there. I'll take this tail around and then I'll go up and close up that gap. Okay, round 2, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and let's go ahead and mark it. Double crochet in the same stitch. Whoops. Two double crochet in each stitch around. Okay, now this right here is your slip stitch from the row below. This is not a stitch, so do not make any double crochet into that thing right there, which is a slip stitch. Okay, so we should have 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And then we're going to slip stitch into this. People tell me that they use this stitch marker to help them get the hook in, but I just find it more difficult to get my hook in there when there's a stitch marker in it. But anyways, we're going to slip stitch into there. Okay, now you don't have to change colors, but this is the way that I like to change colors if I'm intentionally striping a star blanket. I like to do set up round 1 and 2, set up round 3 and 4, and then change every 3 rows after that. So I go 2 rows, 2 rows, and then every 3 rows after that. Okay, so the way that I change colors, and I'm going to go back to the last thing I did here. I pull the yarn, the new yarn, through the last 2 loops of whatever color I'm ending, and I pull the new yarn through the last, so the very last step of the last stitch of the old color, you pull the new color through. And then I'm going to take my 2 tails of my yarn and I'm going to bring them up and over my working yarn like that and hold it to the back. And then I'm going to start. The next thing I'm going to do is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's the beginning of setup round 3. And I have these 2 loose threads of yarn here, and they're not going anywhere or doing anything because I wrapped my new working yarn up over them. So I'll just leave them there until I'm done with my work, and then I'll weave the blue one into the blue, and I'll weave the gray up into the gray where they match. I don't tie knots, and I don't recommend tying knots. I understand why you all like them, but I do not tie knots unless I have to. I'm stuck with a little short piece of something, and that's the only way to make it work. Okay, set up round 3. I chained 3, and I'm going to double crochet. Okay, and so it doesn't say double crochet in the same stitch, so I go to the next stitch and double crochet. Chain 3, 2 double crochet. Okay, it doesn't say 2 double crochet in the same, it says 2 double crochet. That means you make a double crochet in the next stitch, and then you make another double crochet in the stitch after that. Chain 1, 2 double crochet. Okay, now it says repeat. Chain 3, 2 double crochet. Chain 1, 2 double crochet. And you're going to keep that going around, and it says ending with chain 1. So that means your last time that you repeat this sequence, you're going to stop in the middle of it after the chain 1. So you're not going to get a full repeat in at the end. Okay, so here's my next repeat, chain 3, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet, chain 1. Okay, so ending with chain 1. So I don't have, there's no more 2 double crochet anything. Okay, remember this is your slip stitch, so that is not a stitch. And we're going to join to the top of the, hang on, I want to lay this down first. Lay your work down at the end of every round and look it over. Okay, this is why I say lay it down and admire it. Okay, and then we're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. But also when you're laying, when you take the time to lay something down and look it over, you might see things that you miss when it's in your hand and you're concentrating. So we're admiring it, we're looking it over, we're giving our hands a break and stretching our hands. And then we're checking it over to see, does everything look, is everything as it should be here? So at this point, you should check to make sure you have 7 chain 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are going to be your points. And 7 chain 1 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are going to be your dips. So you have peaks and dips, or mountains and valleys. There's going to be 7. It's a 7-pointed star. Okay, set up round 4, slip stitch in the next double crochet and chain 3 space. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Mark that last chain, because that's where you're going to join when you come back. 2 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, into the space, the chain 3 space. Okay, so we're starting to make our first peak. So every chain 3 space around is going to have 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, 3 3 3. I'll say it, 3 3 3. 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. And then each chain 1 space is going to have a double crochet 3 together, which is a cluster. I have seen recently people thinking that double crochet 3 together means 3 double crochets together in the same place, but that's not what it means. It's a different stitch. It's a cluster stitch. Okay, so in my chain 1 space, I'm going to make a double crochet 3 together. You yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Do that 2 more times in the same space. Pull through all 3. Okay, that is your double crochet 3 together cluster. And in the chain 3 space, we're going to have 3 3 3. 1, 2, 3, 3, chain 3, 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we have 2 points and 1 valley. So just keep going around the row like that. Double crochet 3 together in the chain 1 space. 3 3 3 in the chain 3 space. Excuse me. Double crochet 3 together, cluster in the chain 1 space. 3 3 3 in the chain 3 space. Double crochet 3 together, cluster in the chain 1 space. 3 3 3 in the chain 3 space. Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit of curl on my blanket, and the reason for the curling is because this blanket isn't quite circular, so you have to use really really loose tension in order for it to lay flat. Okay, I'm at the end of my round. I did my last double crochet 3 together cluster in the chain 1 space. And now I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the top of this chain 3 that started my round. Okay. And I'm flattening it out and it's just laying flat, so I think it's going to be fine. But if you lay your blanket down like this and it keeps wanting to pop back up, then you might want to bump up to a hook that's a half a millimeter larger than what you're using. It would be okay to have the center of the star be a little bit tighter tension than the rest. That's going to help your blanket lay flat. You just have to kind of make the call. If you're really getting a lot of cupping, you know, like that, then you need to bump it up. Once you get beyond the setup rounds, you shouldn't have any problems with curling. So beyond the first 8 to 10 rounds, it would only be within those first 8 to 10 rounds that you would need to worry about changing your hook. Beyond that, you should be good for the entire rest of the blanket. Okay, lay your blanket down, admire it, check for curling, just make a decision if you're going to change your hook or not, and then just see that you have 7 points and 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 valleys. So you can see your star blanket is starting to take shape. Okay, you don't have to change colors, but I like to change colors after the first 2 rows, and then the 4th row I go 2 2, and then after that I change every 3 rounds. So it's time for me to change colors. If you're using a solid color, obviously you never have to change. If you're doing a cake yarn, you also don't ever have to change. But I would suggest if you're doing a cake yarn, it changes colors wherever it wants. So I would control the colors on like the center 8 to 10 rounds, because if you have a mid-row color change right in the middle of your blanket, it's like a bullseye. The eye just goes right there, and something will not look right about your blanket. But after you get beyond 8 or 10 rounds, and then those colors are going to change. If they change mid-round, you don't really notice it as much. And these, I've seen many star blankets made with cake yarn, and they look amazing. And people always ask, did you control the color or did you just let it flow? And what I recommend is control for those first few rounds. Just make sure that it changes at the end of the round. And after that, just let it flow. It's going to be amazing. Setup round 5. I'm going to show you how to start setup round 5 2 different ways. One way is if you're not changing colors, and then the other way is if you're changing colors. So I said before that I change colors after the setup round 2, after setup round 4, and then after that I change every 3 rounds. But I want to show how this round starts if you're not changing colors. So we want to start here in this space after the double crochet 3 together and before this first group right here, but we joined here. So our yarn is coming out of this stitch and we want it to be coming out of this space. So the way that we get there is we just kind of go backwards, and we're not used to doing this in crochet. We usually go right to left, or if you're left-handed, you're going left to right, and we're not used to kind of going backwards. So for this beginning, you have to go backwards. You go into that space and then pull up your yarn and then pull it through your yarn on the that's already on the hook. Okay, and then you have this weird little slip stitch here, but you got your yarn moved over 1 notch. And then you're going to start with a chain 2 and then double crochet 2 together, and that counts. The chain 2 and the double crochet 2 together counts as double crochet 3 together, and then you're going to mark that. And then the rest of setup 5 is the same if you change colors, but that little beginning bit is a little bit different, so I wanted to show it by itself. Here's how I would start this round if I were planning to change colors. I would, after doing my slip stitch to close setup round 4, I would just fasten off, cut the yarn, and I always take my yarn around the next stitch and then back through, and I just leave it at the back. And I don't like to have all these color changes all lined up going up one valley, so when I change colors on my star blankets, I like to rotate the work and I start in a different area, and that way I don't have a bunch of ends that I'm trying to weave in all in a line, and it can start to look really obvious. It can make your, it can like show on the blanket. So I want to hide that, and for me it's just easier. So I'm going to start setup round 5 with my new color right here. And so I can start at any one of those spaces, okay? Anyone can pick anyone around the star. I just don't want the one where I joined, which is here. So just want any different one. And then I'm going to take my new yarn, and I don't have to do that weird going backwards thing because I'm just going to start with a slip stitch right into the space where I want to start. So I just pull up a loop in that space, and then I start my chain 2. 1, 2. And then if you're worried about that end, you can put it over to the side and work the rest of your double crochet 2 together over it. And then I'll go back later and weave it in. Okay, so in that space, I did a chain 2, double crochet 2 together, and that counts as double DC3 together at the beginning of the round. And then I'm going to mark that. Okay, so whether you change colors or you didn't change colors, we should all be at the same space. And the rest of this round looks like this. 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet in each of the chain 3 spaces. Okay, each one of those spaces is going to get a 3, 3, 3. And then in every space on either side of this double crochet 3 together, here and here, you're going to do double crochet 3 together, double crochet 3 together, and you're going to do that all the way around. Okay, so that's going to be the pattern for your round. 3, 3, 3, DC3 together, DC3 together, 3, 3, 3, DC3 together, DC3 together, 3 3 3, DC3 together, DC3 together, 3 3 3 all the way around. Okay, and when you get to here, you'll just have one DC3 together, and then you'll join to the top of this DC3 together where you marked. Okay, so let's do that. 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Double crochet 3 together here and here. Three, 3, 3 in the chain 3 space. So we're working all into spaces on this round. Double crochet 3 together before and after the double crochet 3 together in the space below, row below, sorry. Double crochet 3 together here and here. Three, 3, 3 in the chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. Double crochet 3 together here and here. Three, 3, 3 in the chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochet, I'm sorry, 3 chain 3, 1, 2, 3 double crochet. Double crochet 3 together in each of those 2 spaces. 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet in the chain 3 space. Double crochet 3 together in each of the next 2 spaces. Three, 3, 3 in the chain 3 space. Double crochet 3 together in the next 2 spaces. Three, 3, 3 in the chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then my last space before my double crochet 3 together and before my marked double crochet 3 together, I make a double crochet 3 together and then join with a slip stitch to the marked double crochet 3 together. Set up round 6. Before we get started, I'm going to mark the last double crochet 3 together of setup round 5, and then we start with a chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch, and then we're going to mark that single crochet also. And the reason why we're marking this is because we don't want to get confused by this slip stitch or this chain 1 right here. Those are not stitches that we're going to work. We're going to skip over them when we get to the end of this round. So our last single crochet is going to go into this marked stitch right here. And then we're going to join to this marked stitch. We're going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch in this round and 3 single crochet in each chain 3 space at the peak. One, 2, 3 in the peak. So the top of this double crochet is right here, so don't miss this one. 1, 2, 3. And now each of my double crochet 3 together is going to get 1 single crochet. 1, 2. And then these 3 double crochet are going to each get 1 single crochet in each. So from peak to peak, you should have 8 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then in the peak, you'll have 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to come in a little closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 3 in the peak. 1, 2, 3, and 8 across to the next peak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 in the peak. 1, 2, 3. So your total stitch count for the round is 77, but it doesn't really help to know what your total stitch count is if the stitches are not in the right places. So you want to make sure that you have 8 in between the peaks and 3 in each peak. And if you don't have 8 between the peaks, go back to the last round and figure out what you did. This isn't one of those patterns that you can kind of just wing it and keep going, unfortunately. It should work out exactly as it's written. And if it doesn't, there's a mistake somewhere. And 3 in the peak. 1, 2, 3. And 8 across to the next. 1, 2, 3. Work into the tops of the stitches, not between. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 double crochet here. Each one gets a single crochet. 2 DC3 together. Each one gets a single crochet. And then 3 double crochet. Each one gets a single crochet. And then 3 in the peak. Okay, and we're coming to the end of our round. 2, 3, and my last single crochet is going to be into the top of this double crochet 3 together here, which was our last stitch in setup round 5. Okay, so now we're really clear that we're going to skip over our slip stitch and we're going to skip over our chain, and we're going to join by slip stitching into that marked single crochet, which is the first single crochet of the round. And then we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you should have 4 on one side and 4 on the other. 3 in each peak. I am experiencing a tiny bit of curl, but I'm not concerned about it. Setup round 7. At the beginning of setup round 7, you have a slip stitch. So I slip stitched it to join the round, and then I have to slip stitch again because I want to move over one stitch. So it's very common for people to miss this slip stitch at the beginning of this round. So we have to move over one, and then we're going to chain 3. and then 3 double crochet. So we're going to count this chain 3 as a double crochet. So you have 4 double crochet going up the side. But the way I've written it, chain 3, 3 double crochet, I just want it to be really clear. And then in the peak center single crochet, you're going to do 5 double crochet in the same stitch. And if it's not in the center single crochet, then you should go back and check and see what happened. Did you do 4 here instead of a chain and then 3? Did you forget to slip stitch? Did you get this count of single crochet wrong? Did you accidentally work the slip stitch here and then make an extra single crochet? And then that would put you 1 off to the right. So these are some common mistakes that happen at the end of this round and the beginning of this round that throw people off. Okay, so going down the side, it's 4 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is just a little hack. Whenever you're coming down the side of the mountain, your last double crochet should line up in between the 2 double crochet of this group here, the second and the third one. So if you go past here, something's off. So it always lands right there. So then we have a skip 2 and 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's our pattern for the round. It's 4 going up, 5 in the peak, 4 coming down, skip 2, 4, 5, 4, skip 2, 4, 5, 4, skip 2, all the way around. And 4 going down. 1, 2, 4, skip 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 double crochet in the peak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4 coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I'm lined up in that with that between the second and third double crochet, skip 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 in the center stitch in the peak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4 coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 double crochet in the peak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the peak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just checking to see that I'm lining up. And then skip 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the peak. 1, 2, 3, and 4 coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'm going to skip the last 2, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the top of my starting chain 3. Setup round 8 is next. So I'll show it to you 2 ways, changing colors and without changing colors. So if I were not changing colors, I would slip stitch into the next stitch and chain 3 and continue. I am now changing colors every 3 rounds. So what I'm going to do, instead of slip stitching, I'm going to fasten off. And I'm going to rotate my work because I don't like all my joins to be lined up in one valley going up. And I think this is next. So I'm going to join my new color to this stitch right here. So if you know how to do a standing double crochet, you can start with a standing double crochet, but I'm going to do this really beginner friendly. So I'm just going to put my hook in here into the top of this stitch, pull a slip stitch through, pull up a loop through, and then I'm going to start my chain. And then I'm going to mark it. Okay, so that's how I'm going to start my round if I'm changing colors. Okay, and then I have 4 double crochet. And then 5 in the peak. So the peak is going to be the center double crochet. And I'll just zoom in one sec. So the top of the stitch is a little bit to the right of the center double crochet. So if you're not sure, if you're having, a trouble understanding which one it is, these are my 5. Okay, this is the center one, and this is the top of it. It just is a little bit off to the right. So I'm putting 5 double crochet in that center double crochet in the peak. Whoops. Okay, and then I have 5 to go down. So this is the round of 5s. It's 5 going up, 5 in the peak, and 5 going down. And our first chain 3 here at the beginning of the round counts as 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that means you do 1 chain and 4 more double crochet. All right, and then I know when I'm at this valley, I'm going to skip 2. I should be skipping 1 on one side of the gap and 1 on the other side of the gap. And that's where I fastened off before. So I'm skipping 2 and then 5 double crochet to get to the peak. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 double crochet in the peak. Center double crochet in the peak. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 2. One of my skips is on one side of the gap and one skip is on the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 in the peak. and 5 going down. Whoops. Skip 2, 5 going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 in the peak. So I believe I give you a final stitch count for the round in the pattern, and I don't remember what it is, but the important thing is that you have 5 double crochet going up each side of the peak and 5 double crochet in each peak. And then you have a skip 2 in the valley. And what usually hangs people up with their stitch counts is forgetting to skip or forgetting to slip stitch at the beginning of the round, misunderstanding the concept of chain 3 plus 4 double crochet equals 5. Or back on the single crochet round, something happened at the join where you worked too many stitches or created extra stitches at the join. Sometimes people misunderstand double crochet 3 together and think that that means the same thing as 3 double crochet in the same space, and those are 2 different things. So if you do a 3 double crochet in the same space instead of a double crochet 3 together, you'll have 2 extra stitches on the next round. A double crochet 3 together creates 1 stitch, and 3 double crochet in the same space creates 3 stitches. So that's something that will throw your stitch count off. You shouldn't be experiencing any more curling at this point. Your work should be pretty much laying flat. Well, sometimes people reach out and they say my work is curling and I've increased my hook size 4 or 5 times now, but it's still curling. And what's really happening is their work is ruffling. So if you don't have enough stitches or your tension is too tight, your work will curl. If you have too many stitches because you misunderstood the pattern and we're putting additional stitches into stitches and spaces where they didn't belong, then you will have a piece that ruffles. Before I join my round, I'm going to mark my last double crochet of this round. And then this will remind me not to go past that on my single crochet in the next round. And then I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round. So there you go. That was set up. What round are we on? Set up round 8. So the 6-day star, superstar, and supernova have the same 8 setup rounds. They all start the same way. So you could still, if you wanted to at this point, veer off into the superstar or the supernova. Set up round 9, chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch. And then let's mark that. And then this stitch is going to be the last stitch that we put a single crochet into. We're going to skip over this slip stitch and this chain up, and we're going to join to this to our first single crochet. Okay, and once again, each stitch gets a single crochet. When you get to the center stitch in the peak, the center double crochet, you put 4 into that stitch. I know it's weird because it seems like it should be 3, but it's 4. And then coming down, we're going to just one to one single crochet in each stitch. And it's a total of 14 until you get to the next peak. Okay, I'm at my center double crochet. Nice. And that stitch gets 4. And then 14 single crochet across to the next peak. So it's 14 and 4. So 4 in the peak. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Once you learn the pattern, once you learn the pattern, you won't have to count every stitch. set your work down often and look it over. And my motto is lay it down and admire it. I know some people enjoy counting as they go along. I'm not one of those people, but I know some people enjoy that. They find that relaxing. Okay, when you get to the center, just even if you are someone who likes to count, still learn how to read your work and look for landmarks where you know. So I know if I have 14 across, I should be at 7 right here. Don't just count and stick for, four single crochet in any peak stitch. Look for that center and check to make sure you're in the center every time. This pattern is really repetitive. Once you get the hang of it, you're not going to need to count all the time. Unless you want to. If you want to, go ahead. Go for it. Okay, there's my marked double crochet. That's my last stitch of the round. And I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round, which I marked. So I don't have to worry that I'm working into something that I shouldn't be working into. That's set up round 9.